Right? All of these things come under the 1994 crime bill. So when you begin to see it as a system that was designed to do certain things, it's a wake-up call for you. And you begin to say, hold on, man, I fell for the trap. It's time for me to begin taking a different route and begin educating myself more. And so the Resurrection Study Group, these guys steered me in that direction. It's a business, a prison industrial complex. You got cheap labor. You know, the 13th Amendment says you're allowed to be enslaved if you're convicted of a crime. Similar to the 1994 crime bill that was signed by Bill Clinton and co-authored by our now President Joe Biden, and incarcerated more people across the country than in any other time. Right? It perpetuated the 3 strikes, you're out. You had guys who stole a slice of pizza, third strike, he gets 25 to life. We're looking at cases now where guys took $200, he's been in jail for 20 years. Prison is a cold environment, and it's up to you to create your own heat. It's a dark environment, and somehow you got to find that light, that light within yourself in order to travel, in order to, to do something with your life more meaningful.
The fact that you could be wrongfully accused, spend 30 years of your young life in a cage, and then come out and just be this wonderful, fun guy, having a good time. Everyone's laughing, having conversations. It was beautiful.
I made up my mind that if you were going to have me incarcerated for a crime I did not commit, then I was going to take this time and use that cell as if it was an office. I was going to use that school building as if it was a university. And every chance I had to just self-reflect and engage in introspection and do the things that I needed to do to protect my soul, I was going to do it. And I made it my business to do so. And I started delving into material that I probably would never have read, being a free man. I started reading, everything from, philosophy books to, very, very few novels, but I tend to learn from the experiences of others. So autobiographies became my thing.
But we were sitting there and some other folks came in, and at some point, Bruce kept looking over his shoulder. And, I realized that he was uncomfortable, and he switched seats very quickly so that he would be side to side, shoulder to shoulder with them. I think I know why you did it.
Yeah.
Why did you do it?
Well, I think in prison you become accustomed to not wanting people behind you, right? And then I got this scar in prison from behind, so you're always conscious of what's behind you.
Of course.
And it helped them understand why the vast majority of incarcerated people in New York State came from, at that time, they came from 7 basic neighborhoods, right? And these were neighborhoods that were all impoverished, that were all plagued with what we call crime generative factors, from, substance abuse to dilapidated housing to, just poverty, right? And so you see violence. And what I've come to realize is that poverty is violence. So wherever there's poverty, you're going to see violence because poverty itself is violence. Autobiographies became my thing, from Quincy Jones to Miles Davis, and just continuously studying, right? And then studying the system and what drives the system and why it has become what it is, from education to the whole system of why educational system looks at a guy in the 3rd grade and determines whether or not he's going to be caught up in the criminal justice system as early as the 3rd grade, right? Based on your reading level, they can determine how many prison beds that they're going to develop. These are things that most people don't know, right? Just imagine waking up to change a costume for Halloween, a child's costume, and then disappearing for the next 29 years of your life, right? And being charged with a homicide while the prosecutor involved in your conviction has a history of misconduct. And it wasn't until some 27, 26 years later that he finally gets arrested and gets convicted. Former Queens prosecutor John Scarpa. He gets convicted for the very same misconduct that I've been telling them about, that he's been doing for decades.
So he would just find someone, pin it on them.
Yeah, he would concoct a story, a theory, as he did in my situation.